Yo, what's up, y'all? It's me again. Well, got some things that's kind of on my mind again. One thing is this Kenneka Jenkins situation. She's buried. She's gone, unfortunately. And it's just too many variables about this whole situation. You know, you have so many different things they're talking about that could have happened or did happen, or I've been watching a lot of videos on this, and the case, they basically shut the case down. They didn't do a real thorough investigation, and if they did, they didn't share it with us. They did not want us to know exactly what was, what was the findings of some things. And the finger points to the security, the hotel, and some friends or some associates who claim to be friends. There's just a lot of fingers being pointed everywhere. And the mother is basically saying let it rest, because she's not really trying to get to the bottom of what happened, or maybe she already knows what happened to her child, and she's not telling the people who are in support of her and the case. When you lose a child under those circumstances, you don't give up, regardless on what's been offered to you, no matter what promises, no matter what threats, no matter anything. You'd be willing to die for your baby. And it being that your baby has been taken, then your life quest should be finding out exactly what happened. And if they're coming up with it's still an accident, with all these obvious discrepancies in this whole case, and you're accepting that she just walked in there and closed the door behind her and couldn't find her way back out of the freezer. The mother, if you're accepting that, then I guess this whole case is over for you. But I don't think it's over for the people who really have more, a lot of feelings behind these type of things happening to people and to black people. Kenneka Jenkins was a very sweet young lady. She looked very sweet, but I think her lifestyle, she was leading in the wrong, she was going in the wrong direction with the company she kept. Apparently the people that she was hanging with wasn't the type of people you really want to be an influence over your child. If you, as you could see, the guys in the group that she knew, they wanted to carry guns and be involved in a gang and get high, smoke weed, drink, party, all those things. That is not where you want your child. I wouldn't think you want your child in those situations. But this case is really winding down because of the coroner's evaluation of it all, and he deems it to be an accident. And yes, that in her system was found some drugs, alcohol, but to get her that way in a short period of time, I don't even think that the videos that were put out were investigated carefully enough. There was one girl, when the guy was videotaping them in the bathroom and the girl was coming out of the bathroom with the cup, you can hear her say that I'm going to give this to that girl. That wasn't, I didn't hear anything about that. Did they investigate that any further? Was that the actual cup that consists of these other drugs on top of alcohol that caused her to be so disoriented and messed up, because they say she only had one drink. And the mother, I know you see all this. How can you rest and be like, you know, peace, y'all, peace. Don't do anything more. You know, stop the protesting over at the Crown Hotel. You know, how can you just let it go? You know, your baby was taken. It was no accident. So my heart goes out to the young lady, the young sister that lost her life. I feel real bad about that, man. I mean, I know a lot of people do, and a lot of people that I've been checking out on the on videos that they've been putting out, a lot of people have very valid information that they're trying to put out. And then a lot of people just kind of fishing. You know, one girl was talking about, you can see through the girl's glasses, Monifa glasses, or whoever the girl is, with the mirror glasses, that you can see a naked body, or somebody with no clothes on the bed, and they're just being all nonchalant about it. Man, I think that's just a little too much. But nobody really knows what happened other than the people involved. So we can all speculate all we want. We can argue about it. We can call each other's all kind of weird names, call each other out of our names over this, because we really don't know what happened. And everybody wants to be the one who says, I figured it out, so they can get a lot of hits. I'm not doing this for hits myself. I'm just doing it because it's something on my mind I want to share. You know, bump the hits, man. I don't care about all that. You know, that's not my main focus. But you know, this is really my last time talking about it. You know, until you know, I hear about you know, better or another investigation being started over this thing, which I believe it needs to be. I think if they have buried her already, which they have, they should, you know, resume the body and get another source, you know, private investigators, you know, private autopsy done, you know, get it all done again and find and see if she's have any organs missing. You know, all those things need to be checked out and need to be told to the people, being that we are so concerned. There's so many people really concerned about this, you know, because if this black market organs stuff is really going on, well, dagnabbit, I think that the police should be doing a way better job than what they're doing, trying to crack down on this stuff and stop being so slack about it. You know, and in order to you know, eliminate some of the speculations, you're gonna have to comb through this thing, make sure, you know, make it clear to us that it had, you know, process of elimination is to just make sure that, you know, if one of the speculations is the black market organ stealing situation, let us know that that was not involved in this case. We want to know, you know, check her out and see if there's anything missing. Was she a donator of organs at her young age at 19? And if she was, who got the organs? I know they have to document all this stuff, you know. And well, that's just one theory. And then the other theory, of course, is how's the hotel hooked into it? Hooked into organ donors and organ theft and all this. And why was the videos tampered with? You know, all these questions really not even answered. You know, and we are ready to put this thing to rest already. Gosh, man, that's sad. And you know, this myth of her, it not being her roaming the hallways, drunk and tripping all through the halls. Understand something. These cameras that they're using, or the way that the cameras were actually edited or made to fit a camera or screen or whatever, they stretch them. They can stretch them wide, they can stretch them long, and the people that you see on the camera is going to appear a little bit wider or taller or shorter. You know, you got to understand that. So when you look at her face clearly, you get a pretty good camera. The resolution, the pixels are tighter. You can see that it's her. You know, has it been tampered with? Yes, it has. Did they cut people out of it? I strongly believe. What in the world was that? I don't know what that was. Just flew by. Maybe it was a ghost. But was it tampered with? Definitely. You know, it's clear. Why did they hang on to the tape so long? These are all answers. I mean, questions that, you know, we really have no solid answers on. You know, why did they take so long to release all the footage? Right? A lot of people are saying it because they was tampering with it. They were editing, you know, taking out people. And how the young people really involved. What parts did they take, and who were they? Who exactly, which they got them almost narrowed down. You know, people got it narrowed down to who exactly did what without even no real solid answers. But they're assuming that these particular people that had something to do with it. You know, did they fingerprint the whole kitchen area where she traveled? And did they fingerprint everybody in the room? They're in and out that room where they fingerprinted. And did you match those fingerprints to the fingerprints down there in the kitchen? Did you fingerprint the door handle? How many fingerprints? It doesn't matter. It could be 1,000,000 fingerprints on there. But if any of those fingerprints of any of those people in that room other than Kenneka is on that handle, then you have your suspects. Think about it, right? So I mean even, you know, they say, well, the camera that was facing the freezer, there was a camera there, the mother says. All right, is there a camera there? Does the camera work? And if it does, why wasn't it working that day or that weekend? These are just questions that never really was answered. You know, and the police, for example, and the hotel security. I'm really looking at them myself. The hotel security they show, you know, when they first let out these tapes, they didn't show nothing about security roaming them halls. But then after the fact, after they came to their so-called conclusion, now they released the rest of the tapes, and now you see the security guy roaming back and forth. And if you watch the videos carefully, you can see that even that's been tampered with. As far as where's the timestamp on a lot of those, and the timestamp is not there. They now, you know, they're flooding the social media with all these released tapes of the rest of the stuff that was missing when we wanted to know what it was when you first released her roaming through the hallways, just those little clips. You know, now everything is like, okay, security is roaming around. The kids, you can see the kids are looking for her. You know, all that stuff wasn't even there when they first broke this story. So it's just too many daggone variables, and it's hard to, you know, they have made sure that they flooded. They wanted us to get all you know, guessing and speculating and throw all these what ifs around. So now it gets so confusing that they can settle down with their own little finding, so long as the mother don't push to redo this thing with a private, you know, with private people who are willing to help her out and get a second opinion. You know, because you can't trust all them people who are working for the police, and you can't trust the people who are working for the hotel, and you can't trust the friends or so-called friends that had the party. You can't trust anybody. Mother, the mother of Kenneka Jenkins, you can't trust any of them. So you have to get this thing going, you know, separately. So, you know, I think it's just time to put it to, well, I don't think it's time for the mother to put it to rest, but I think for us, we need to shut up about it and let her go ahead and let them, her and her team, if she has a team of lawyers, and let the lawyers go ahead and handle this thing and redo it all and see what the findings are. And, you know, the rest of us, we really don't have an answer to it. We don't know, because it's been just messed over the whole time since it started. And that is how they, you know, confuse you, just flood your mind with a whole lot of what ifs, and now you're left with, you know, people coming up with their own conclusions, and that just mess up the whole integrity of the investigation. And it's almost like trying to find a needle in a haystack, you know. So for me, yeah, I think it's done. And my suggestion to the rest of you, you know, let the mother and the mother's, you know, lawyers and all her group of people, if they want to go forward, which I suggest she should go forward and try to find more or redo the whole thing. And we should just sit back and let it happen and be ready to support her if she chooses to do so. If she chooses not to, she want to stop because of whatever reason, then we should stop. You know, that's my opinion. Me personally, I wouldn't stop. I think I would just have to die finding out what happened to my baby. And if I think there's some foul play, then I need to continue to investigate until I get to a point that I am no longer guessing that there's some foul play that came upon my child. So to the rest of you, and I always try to leave off with, you know, a better solution to our young people living the life that little Kenneka Jenkins was trying to live. You know, if you see a lot of her pictures and photos, how she dressed and who she hung with and the parties and all this. Yeah, I'm not saying young people, you know, you can't party, but I think you should party in a more safer way. Because if you're intoxicated, if you're getting high and you find yourself by yourself, and then you pretty much are letting yourself or making yourself be a victim, because anybody could take advantage of you, you know, if you are not right, you know, if you're unstable because of drugs, alcohol, or what have you. So my suggestion is, you know, if you're gonna party with a clean head. You know, don't put yourself in positions that this young child has. I'm not trying to blame her for anything, but she made the choices to go and hang with these people, thinking that they were her friends, and she didn't know the difference. And they obviously wasn't that much of a friend to her if they let her get out of their sight for however long she was missing, and then wound up dead. That's not a real friend. If we go, every time when I was young and I hung out with somebody, we rolled together to the place and we rolled back together. So I'm going to end this thing. And that's my input and my output of it. I'm done until I see more that the mother and the lawyers and everything are trying to pick it up and push forward. Until I see that, it's rested in my mind. It's just another situation that we need to be warning our kids about, warning each other about, talking about, not arguing and calling each other's names, and talking like we ain't got no home training. You know, we need to be more respectful to each other and more loving. So I'm done with it, you know, for now. And we'll see what happens, if anything, right? So the rest of y'all, party peacefully, party safely, party intelligently if you got to party, you know. But be about positive stuff, though. That's really all I'm gonna leave y'all with. All right, y'all. I'm out. And rest in peace, Kenneka Jenkins.